Sometimes these interactions where we're learning to attune can feel a lot like that scenario on an airplane. Hopefully you've never been in a real one where they say put your own oxygen mask on first. Because if you're having kind of a hard time breathing, to use this metaphor, then it's really difficult to help somebody else. So ahead of really stepping into a deep conversation with someone like this, what do you do for your own sense of centeredness? Something that you can anchor on where, okay, I am now ready for this conversation. We have thoughts about this and that and a million things that are directing our attention elsewhere. But that's not what somebody else needs if they need to be listened to. Ask yourself, what can I do that wipes the windshield of my mind off? Removing distractions is a huge one. Put your phone on silent. Put whatever it is that's in your periphery out of the way so that you can fully focus on this individual. Have a high protein meal to really help satisfy any kind of hunger pangs or other things that would distract you. The location that you're in, there might be some that are more or less conducive to a free-flowing conversation. Consider that as well. Some people really like to journal. Even just 5 minutes of just free-form, open-page journaling. It could be thinking of things that you're grateful for and writing those down. It could be some type of exercise routine you have, or we talked about TIP already, any one of those practices. But it really is important for you to be aware of, am I in a good space to kind of hear you well, to hear you really deeply, right? Because it does take a lot of energy. When we're working with really anybody who might be in an emotionally charged state, after that conversation, there's often a bit of kind of emotional residue on ourselves. That probably means that you were tuning well because you actually took on some of their charge because we have those mirror neurons that we talked about. But then what do we then do with that? And having an awareness that this sort of vicarious taking on of somebody else's emotionality is a thing, right? It's something we should expect. And so you might just consider, how do I have a sort of before and after for working with these things so that I can show up as best as I can in the middle? What do you think are some other things that can help center your focus? If you were talking to someone and you were the speaker, what would you want the listener to do ahead of time so that they could be fully focused on what you're saying?